Yay! What is up, people? This is your boy Bob Rock, and this is the B Rock RC Show, a live podcast for the drifters by a drifter. What's up, y'all? How's everybody doing? They're all chilled out, all relaxed. Hope everyone's doing good and being safe during these times. Um, things have been rolling along on my side. What can I say? Um, Luckily for me, I've had work to keep me going and a few RC projects as well. So it hasn't been all gloomy times. And then today we actually managed to go back full time to work. So that's pretty cool. And how's things with all you guys? Quite interested to know what's happening. Um, let us know what's going on, how things are going on your side. Let's see. So, like I was saying in a couple earlier posts, today's episode, I've got some really interesting stuff to talk about. So, I think you might enjoy some of the topics that we're gonna be discussing a little. During the course of the episode, I think it's gonna be very cool. So sit back, chill out, put the podcast on, and just hope you guys enjoy the episode. So to recap from last week's episode, we just spoke a little bit about the new conversion kits coming out from Team Jordan by a good friend of mine, Asad Al Mahsiri. The guy is incredible, very talented, beautiful products. I'm hoping that soon I'll be able to get my hands on one of his kits and then give some feedback on that. I'm sure for the guys that in the know, I'm sure you guys would have come across Team Jordan. For the guys that went to Worlds, you would have known that Team Jordan had a stall there, and where they displayed some of their products. And Assad was actually very friendly and welcoming, and he spoke to anybody and everybody for long periods of time. So his stuff is really good, and if you haven't seen it before, I implore you to go and check out his products out his Facebook page. Go and check it out. Hey, what's up, Ron? Um, yeah, go and check it out on Facebook. All you have to do is just go in the search bar, type in Team Jordan, uh, uh, and yeah, you will see it. Fantastic stuff. Then we also spoke a little bit about uh, these conversion kits that I've been seeing from this guy on Facebook. He goes as Zulfadli Ahmed. He's from Malaysia, and he's developed a very inexpensive rear-wheel drive conversion kit for the HSP Flying Fish. Um, to be honest, I haven't gotten my hands on one of those kits, even though they're actually quite inexpensive. But for me, I won't go that route, simply because I know the value of the proper designed and purpose built rear wheel drive cars versus trying to convert something as entry level as the HSP Flying Fish into rear wheel drive. Now, with that being said, I do understand his reasoning behind wanting to do a conversion kit. You'll be surprised at how many people actually have an HSP Flying Fish. and it's all newcomers. It's almost always newcomers, guys wanting to get into the hobby, and so that lends itself to trying to get the newcomers into rear wheel drive, which is always a good thing. It's just that I don't know if all of that time and effort is actually worth spending on something like a flying fish versus taking a bit of more time, saving a bit more money, and investing in something more robust and more technically able and technically capable, like the Yokomo YD2 series, the MST series of chassis, the RMX, the RRX, the FFX, the FXXX. So all of those chassis there, the overdose GAM. So look, it's a toss up. So I've seen videos of it run. It's not too bad. It's not the best, but it really isn't all that bad. So if you want to go down that road, be my guest. Go for it. Just know that your efforts are probably more worthwhile on a proper rear-wheel drive car. Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks so much for tuning in. Really, really appreciate your support. You guys are the real MVPs, and you guys rock. I may be Bob Rock, but you guys actually rock. So thank you again for tuning in. Really appreciate it. So that was just a little recap of last week's episode. Now this week, I want to touch on another topic that I've seen come up, which is your social drifting versus competition drifting. So over the past week or so and the past couple of weeks, I've been seeing this question come up sort of indirectly. So guys, when asking advice about what car do I get, what's the best car, what's the best drift car to get, do I go all-wheel drive, do I go rear-wheel drive, so my hey, what's up, guys? Oh, yes. David, my friend David actually, and my KMUAD teammate actually mentioned the Usukani PDS. Yes, I do think that's a really good chassis. It is to some extent a little bit underrated. But from what I've seen guys do with the PDS and how it performs, I really think it's also a chassis to that you can invest in and do really well in. So yes, thank you for that reminder, David. Really appreciate it. Yeah, what's up, Chester? How you doing, buddy? So, yeah, like I was saying, competitive drifting versus social drifting. Um, the question has come up indirectly. So when I say that, I mean it like I've had to sort of read in between the lines when guys ask, "What car do I get? What's the best car do I get?" Firstly, when you as a newcomer, as a newbie, when you ask a question on a public forum, what's the best rear-wheel drive car to get, or what's the best drift car to get, you have to understand you're going to get random answers, because that question has a very subjective answer. Um, it really is preferential. People will tell you the Yoko is the best car to get, the GAM is the best car to get, the MSC is the best car to get. The correct question to ask in that manner is, what's the best drift car I can get with my budget, which is an X amount? Then you will get a much more informed and detailed answer. So asking a random question like what's the best car to get, a lot of people will give you different answers. For me, I would say the best car that money can buy, I would say an all-in full house overdose calm. But that's my opinion. Somebody else might say a full house all-in uh, Yoko uh, SX2 or an EX2 or the newly released SX3, which we will come to a little bit later. So you gotta ask the right questions in order to get the right answers that you are actually looking for. So when it comes to that kind of social versus competitive drifting, then you gotta ask yourself, okay, what do you intend on doing? Which direction you want to go? And this is more aimed at the newcomers, the newbies, the new guys. So guys, you need to decide what you want to do. You want to do social drifting, then I would suggest that you go for something that's a little more entry level, or something that's a little lower on the spectrum of drift cars. Um, if you want to go competitive drifting, then you go proper. You do it right. You do it one time. Um, you also get guys who would want to start off drifting socially and then move into competitive drifting. So I would suggest all of those things. Think about it carefully, what you want to do, and then buy something based on those informed decisions. Make a decision based on that information there, and you will be a lot more happier. Way more happier. Um, so yeah. Um, so think about it. Social versus competitive drifting. For me personally, I love both. I love social drifting, just hanging out with my friends at the track, uh, drifting in a train, banging some doors. But at the same time, I equally like the competitive side of drifting, trying to be uh, more precise and more uh, to the rules and all of those amazing things that come with competitive RC drifting. I do think that even if it's social drifting, you need something a little bit competitive to pick your skills up and sort of just sharpen your edges, if you get what I'm saying. And that's just what I found in my experience, that for me, I need that little bit of competitive drifting to motivate me and sort of give me that kick to focus a little bit more on picking up my skills. But again, that's just me. That's just how I like, how I've been sort of molding my RC journey, and it may not work for everybody. Uh, it may be a little bit uh, too stiff for some people, but I don't know. For me, I'm just so chilled with it, man. If we're not competing, we're socially drifting. I'm so chilled with it. I can do either. But I love both sides of drifting, and I'm sure there's a lot of other people who also appreciate that, or have gone into that sort of mind frame, or reach that point in their RC drifting career where they absolutely love both the social and the competitive drifting. So it'll be nice to hear from you guys what you think about it. Um, and let's have a few comments about that, a little conversation about that, and then we'll pick it up next week as well to see what the feedback is about social drifting versus competitive drifting. So I'm there for both, and I hope a lot of you guys are in it as well. So another thing my next topic I wanted to talk about was the what's happening at the KMUAD headquarters. If you guys aren't friends with, or haven't followed the KMUAD boss man, my my very very good friend Daniel Christoph. You guys need to search him on Facebook, add him, and check out what he's up to at the KMUAD headquarters. The track he's built with his own two hands at his place. This guy is nothing short of a magician. If you look at the amount of detail that's going into his track build, it's incredibly inspiring. So the latest build that he's doing is actually a scale garage, which is I think it's a double-story scale garage, which he's busy with. But what makes this build unique is that it's going to be permanently based outside, but it's built with actual real materials. So he's put in real concrete, real steel, all scaled, of course. And he's made a working garage door, and it's getting beautifully detailed and painted, and the scene looks absolutely amazing. You'd be surprised at how much better a track would look with just a little bit of detail in it. So this track is also a work in progress. So he's put in lights, the light poles, a lot of track detailing there, a lot of track scale vegetation, and now with adding scale buildings in there, he's just taking it to another level. So it's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. You guys really need to check it out. And I'm sure by having a look at his track, it's going to give you guys some ideas for your own track, which you can use. And I'd love to see all of that. So drop a comment, drop a picture in the comments. Let's see what your club track is looking like. The reason I'm asking, let's see what your tracks looks like, is because we still want to garner that interest in the RC drift tracks and around the world. Because of this lockdown, due to this pandemic, like everybody else, we all have been sort of stuffed in our house and under a house arrest. Yeah. So people generally, or it's only natural to sort of start losing a bit of interest in your hobbies when you're cooped up in one place with nowhere to go and nothing to do. And especially something like RC drifting, where it's an outdoor sport and you got to be at a track. So we want to see your tracks. We want to see your club tracks. We want to see some action shots. We want to see everything about your track, so that we can share it with the rest of the world and keep the interest in RC drifting going. And I think that's gonna be killer. So Rudolph asked me, how's your buying only a few gyro plans? We were having a bit of a chat on another post where I posted a top view shot of my SPL made YD2. Shout out Asif for that. So yeah, I've got a few projects that I'm going on. So the GUM has taken a bit of a different direction, but it's still a work in progress. So I need a gyro for that. Then my D-Like Evol rear wheel drive project, almost complete. I need another gyro for that. Then my RER hybrid, I got all the electrics for it. But I'd just like to get a better gyro for that. So hence he's asking that. But yeah, we'll see how it goes, man. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I get I'm hopeful that some things are gonna change in the next couple of days, and then it should actually work in my favor. Let's just say, I hope so. So we'll see how that goes. So yeah, that's what's going on at the KMUAD headquarters there. Guys, please check it out. It really is a marvel. Daniel's track really is fantastic, and you will love it. It's the smooth polished concrete. This track is just amazing to drift on. I wish I could have gone there after Worlds last year. Unfortunately, my trip was short, but nevertheless, I do plan on going there sometime in the future. Fingers crossed. Okay, so it kind of brings me to my next topic, which is it's a bit sad, but we all know that this month, tying into next month, is the world's RC Drift Championship season. Every year for the past, I don't know how many years, maybe from 2012 or I don't know, 2009, whenever it started, it's been happening every year right up until last year. So, on Facebook, these memories from a year ago are starting to pop up, and it's just made me a little bit nostalgic. And I started missing Worlds, just like many of the other guys that's been to Worlds last year. And I look back at these memories, and I can't help but smile, and then just just sort of reminisce in those memories and dwell in those memories and let all of those emotions come back. And it just takes me back to my absolute nightmare journey, getting my passport and my visa, and having to arrive there so late at the comp. It was so crazy, and then just meeting everybody and having an absolute blast, and then coming to the realization that being at Worlds and just looking at Worlds through the live stream or via pictures that people post are completely different. Your expectation of what Worlds is versus what it is when you're actually there is like chalk and cheese, because actually being there is like a million times better than what you would ever expect it to be. And that's a promise. And take it from me, from somebody who's invested their whole emotion into being there at Worlds and sort of absorbing every little second from the time I've landed in Netherlands till the time I've left. Just like many others, just like my Team South Africa teammates who came there also for the first time, like Vivian and Ziad. So Team South Africa last year comprised of myself, Cisco, Vivian, Richard, and Ziad. And all of these guys, have performed very, very well and impressed everybody. So it's been it was such an honor to share the platform not only with these South African greats, but the many, many greats that were there at Worlds, and the many legends that were there at Worlds. And geez, oh my God, this thing, Worlds was just something else. And then and this is something that I gotta mention. And then everybody was so looking forward to Worlds 2020, because Worlds 2019 was so beautiful, man. It was so amazing. And then things kind of went haywire. And I don't want to go into any details of that, but you guys know what happened. And then the poster came up, Worlds 2020 cancelled. And I did a meme about that, and I think Jack posted it on his page, where I said, "Worlds 2020 cancelled, where men cried." And I'm sure everybody really, 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 really felt that, just like how I felt that as well. It was a super sad moment when it was a super sad moment when we all heard that Worlds was cancelled. But I'm confident that Worlds is going to happen again. I've spoken to a couple of guys who, fingers crossed, hopefully pick it up. Who are very, very keen and very committed to making that happen. So 2021, 2022, hopefully in either next year or the year after, we're going to have another Worlds. And best believe we're going to have quite a few people there. And I think a lot of people that couldn't make it to Worlds last year, or few people who just didn't want to attend Worlds last year, will definitely attend the Worlds, the next World Championship. And I'm absolutely sure that we're going to get a huge turnout for the next Worlds. So be prepared, everybody. Start saving, start preparing, because once Worlds comes, we all are going to be there. And that's for sure. That's for sure. I'm sure all of you agree. So, yeah, man. I think over the next couple of maybe week or two, I'll definitely be sharing some of the memories that pop up on my profile. So I hope you don't mind. It might be a little bit spamming, but please bear with me, because well, for no other reason except that hello, it's like Worlds. So and I'm sure you all agree with me and all feel the same. Yeah, man. Jeez, Worlds was just something else. Something else. So okay, onto other things, and something a little bit more light-hearted. As most of you guys know, because most of us actually follow this major brand, Yokomo. So you guys know that recently they just released their all new SX3. Um, Granted, the name might not be the best, according to some people. I think it's fine though, because it just appears to be the next step in what they were doing. After, I'm sure they've seen the trends where guys were sort of doing their own mods, trying a different gearbox with a different chassis, like the E series with the S series. So they decided to release the best, in my opinion, the best of both worlds. And this thing looks fantastic. Carbon fiber, aluminium, the with the way they added in the motor mounts, and you guys have seen the pictures. Unfortunately for me, I don't. Well, yeah, I mean, it is a new version. If you think about it, it really is a new version. It may be a combination of two other versions, but you couldn't readily buy a kit that has the best of both these versions, if you get what I'm saying. So hey, what's up, Asif? Oh, dude, I'm missing you, man. I'm missing you so much, dude. Really. Um, okay, so Rudolph says actually next worlds would be about Rev D and Overdose. Two completely different sides of RC drifting. Would be interesting. Now that's an interesting idea. Rev D versus Overdose. So that means you're not even considering Yokomo anymore. I really don't think you should count out Yokomo. I do understand though why you're saying Revdi, because Revdi really is picking up in popularity, and well, Overdose is just Overdose. They always there. Um, but at the same time, you gotta ask the question that is Rev D really that good, and that's why it's becoming so popular, or is it because it's sort of the flavor of the month? Have you thought of it? Have you thought of it from that angle? Because we've seen this happen before many times, where we have some particular drivers that we sort of look up to and sort of follow, and then when they start picking up certain things, then we want to follow them, which is sort of what happened recently. And whilst I'm not saying that the products are not good, it's absolutely obvious that they are good. It's been proven that they are good, but at the same time, there's other brands that are still good. It's just that it's not as popular at the moment as Rev D is. So it begs to ask the question, you know, is it really that good, or is it just a flavor of the month? Yeah, exactly my point. Wolf says his opinion is that Rev D is hype. Okay, here's some knowledge being dropped by Asif. Let's see, Yokomo had an EX, then EX2, then SEX3. Technically, it's a SEX3. Then SEX4. Technically, it's a 4. Okay, so and then he says not just hype, also because all main drivers pull there, so people are moving there. Uh, yes, that is true. A lot of the main drivers went over to RevD. But then it actually comes to and this is something that I would just like to ask, and it's because I've touched on this. I've touched on this very same question in one of my earlier podcasts, where I asked, are people brand loyal, or are they loyal to, or are they people loyal? That's what I asked. Brand loyal or people loyal? Everybody knew Aso-san, Takahiro, Hayato, uh, and a number of other fantastic drivers out there. And when they were with Yokomo, everybody was would followed Yokomo. Let's get that. Now that that the guys have formed RevD, and guys have left Yokomo and joined them under the RevD banner, a lot of people, if not all, almost all the guys went over and are now using RevD products. But why are they using RevD products? Is it because it's providing that superior performance, or is it because these amazing drivers are using it? So if you're looking at it from a marketing point of view, it worked out perfectly, because generally people will follow your top athletes. So, and then you would generally and it's only natural that you would listen to a top athlete when he speaks, because obviously he's on top there for a reason, and therefore whatever he says, it, even though it may not necessarily be like the law, but it's definitely because he has that experience and that knowledge uh, to assess and analyze why that product is so good. So then generally you wouldn't question why he says, no, use this one, it's good, it's better. And you won't question why it's better. You will just say, oh, okay, cool. And then when somebody else asks you, why is this better? You say, oh, no, this guy is using it in his car. And well, he's like in the top 5 in the country, or top 10 in the world. So you don't question that. So brand loyal or people loyal? When they were with Yokomo was banging. Yokomo was cracking. Yokomo was the products to get and to drift with. What happened all of a sudden? Just because a number of these guys moved over, does that now mean that that the other brand is inferior? Not at all. Yokomo is a well established brand, and whilst the face of it and behind the scenes may have changed, it doesn't mean that the quality has changed, and it doesn't mean that the abilities and capabilities of the team behind it are inferior. It just means that they're different. So I just think that we got to give them a chance and let's see what they have to offer. Yes, with the SX3, it's not particularly, how can I put it, innovative or revolutionary like what we're seeing from Ravdi, because let's be honest, Ravdi is doing some nice work. They have some very good products there, and it appears to be working really well. uh, but at the same time, I just think we got to give Yokomo a little bit more chance and credit where it's due, because that's where still most of the people are driving Yokomos. You got to remember that we're still buying the Yoko products because they're still quality products. They still offer a superior or a premium drift experience. So, you know. Okay, so we got some interesting comments here, which I would like to just go over. Okay, so Asif says people make a brand. It's always the approach of people which builds brand image. 100%. 100%. I totally agree. So it sort of that comment lent itself to what I was trying to say, really. Let's see. Rudolph says that's true. Lightweight is getting very popular. It's fresh, and also because there have the new ideas. And I will not say about almost all drivers. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I hear you. Revdi is 2 years behind with lightweight chassis. This is also true because there are a number of other chassis which are very lightweight. I believe the Usukani is one of them. The Usukani is very light because they're using a lot of carbon fiber parts. So, and as we all know, carbon fiber is rather light. Hey, what's up, Kyle? Missing you too, man. Let's see. So Shane says Yokomo brand doesn't change. They are revamping like any other brand after turnover. Yes, I agree with that as well. I think that they are riding the wave of the YD2 series, and and this is just my opinion, and they are really pushing the limits of the YD2. I think and again, this is just another opinion based on my observation of the trend. And then the reason why they came out with the SX3 is just to give people um, an all-round package that they probably have been looking at doing anyway. I'm sure they would have seen people taking a different gearbox, putting it on a different layout, and then watching the performance videos, listening to the feedback, or getting feedback from all these drivers around the world, and then realizing that, you know what, this is actually a trend that's sort of happening with the YD2 series. So let's give the people what they want. So we're going to give them an upgraded chassis with the best layout, with the best gearbox, and with these best options, and let them have it. So that way they don't have to spend too much on on buying a base chassis and then all of those upgrades. Similar to the gum, similar to overdose, you buy a base overdose which is really good out the box already, but then the monster comes out when you want to upgrade that damn thing. And I'm sure you guys agree with me because I've been experiencing the same thing. And unfortunately for us in South Africa, it's really difficult to get like premium, like ultra high end stuff. Uh, and I don't mean Yokomo because uh, thanks to Donsday, Frank and Richard, especially Richard Shee from Donsday here in SA, we readily get Yokomo parts. So he's been very instrumental for us here in SA. As some of you guys know, I about more than a year ago I became an overdose retailer. However, and this is something that pains me to say, but it's reality for us here in South Africa. Overdose is just it's too expensive for the guys here in South Africa. It is. There's no other way of me putting it. And as much as I tried, I really tried getting it established here and getting it running. And whilst it's sort of got a name now because I've managed to get a few chassis in and some parts in and stuff. It's just the cost of it is just turning people away, and there's nothing I can do. So yeah, man, but it's all good. It's all good in the hood. We still love this amazing hobby. We still love all of these brands. Okay, the Yokomo brand. Okay, yeah. Asif says in the end, people should just go for what makes them enjoy the hobby, what gives them their money worth, regardless of brand. As much as we can, as much as we debate and argue over which one is the best and which one outdoes the next. Asif has a very good point. In the end of the day, all we really want to do is have fun. Be it competing, be it socially drifting, all we really want to do is have fun with whatever we can get our hands on, with with however much money we can spare. And you're gonna get all sorts of people, and that's what makes this world so amazing, is that everybody's so different and everybody's so unique, and whilst we may be similar in things, we all are so different, and that's what makes the world go around. um, Everybody's different, and what makes life living a little bit better is accepting that people are different, whether we agree or disagree, but having that respect for each other, that you are different and that's okay. I'm cool with you. I'm chilled. You are different and that's okay. And that doesn't mean that I'm your enemy and you my enemy because we disagree or we're different. You know? And I think that's also one of the most beautiful things that we have in the RC drifting community worldwide, is that we don't care where you're from. We don't care what you look like. We don't care what you do, what your background is. None of that matters. Absolutely none of that. All that matters is being on the track, drifting next to each other, getting that perfect train going, helping out the next person when we have a bit of a problem, and then just keeping all that camaraderie and that brotherhood and that love between everybody. And that's what makes RC drifting so unique to compared to the other RC disciplines, and that's what I take from RC drifting. So perhaps you guys feel similar. Perhaps you guys feel the same. Okay, so let me take one more comment from Asif. Look at D-Like, they are in their own zone. Look at Wrap Up Next, they are in their own zone. It's all about having fun and giving you the best experience. I couldn't have used a better example than what Asif has mentioned. D-Like does not care. They don't give a shit about competitive drifting. And what Asif said is 100% correct. D-Like is all about the experience. They are all about wanting to give you the most realistic experience with an RC car that can possibly happen. And we see it all the time with the drift videos that they put up. And for me personally, that's one of the few companies that I see put up the actual R&D videos, even though we may not necessarily understand what are they researching. But if you follow D-Like all the time, then you will learn what they are chasing. It's a beautiful, beautiful brand who's made a name for themselves. And just think about it. They have such a massive name and such a big following in the RC world, but you hardly ever see them in competitive RC drifting. Yet you will see them having an absolute blast drifting. And I think if there's anything I took from what Asif was trying to say, it's definitely that. It's about the experience and having fun with your best friends and with strangers all at the same time. So yeah, like the hashtag goes, yeah, keep drifting fun. So we want to keep that going. Let's see who else we got here. Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely, Jenny. Hi, Jenny. We miss you so much. Yeah. And I think she was replying to my comments about how beautiful this hobby is and how amazing it is, and how much of love we have for each other, like across the globe, whether you're from the far islands of New Zealand to the corner states of the US, or the corner province, or whatever it is in Canada, or even if you are in like the middle of Brazil, where we have a few friends there as well, all corners, Russia and everything. We all have love for each other simply because you're an RC drifter. And I don't know whether you guys have noticed it, but the moment you find another RC drifter and you mention, hey, you know what, I drift too, and then all of a sudden you're like best friends forever. And just to give you a quick example of that, I saw a post by, wait, I got his name here somewhere. Yes, Chris Dawes from, I hope that's how his surname is pronounced. Chris Dawes. He's from Sydney, Australia. So he put up a post I think on the rear wheel drive group. And he's done his own mod on a YD2, where he gave it an IFS style shock mod, but the shocks has a very long extension to the front end of the chassis, and the actual damper sits far to the rear of the chassis, in the sort of along the upper deck. So I was very curious about it, and I asked him a few questions, like why would you want to do such a mod like that? And he was like, no, I just wanted to see how it works, and I liked the IFS style damper system, similar to how Overdose has it, and I wanted to try it on the YD2, and it drives great. So And we've had that in the past where famous scientists have discovered things by accident. So maybe he's discovered some real brilliant performance mod by accident, or just out of sheer curiosity and fun. Um, but the point I'm trying to make is that we connected with each other, and then he hit me up in the inbox, and we had this fantastic long conversation as if we were friends for years and we had met many times. And overall, that's the beauty of RC drifting. Out of the blue, you connect with another drifter, connect with another person, and due to this common love and passion for this hobby, you almost instantly make a an amazing great friend. And I don't know how else to put it. This hobby is absolutely beautiful, man. It's absolutely amazing. Wow, there's so much of interaction here. Thank you so much, guys. I love it. I love it. Just keep it going, man. You guys are awesome. You guys are absolutely awesome. And that's why I have so much of love for all you guys, man. You guys are absolutely amazing people. Each and every one of you. Always remember that. For the guys that just joined in, welcome. Thank you so much for joining in. This is your boy Bob Rock, and this is the B Rock RC Show, a live podcast for the drifters by a drifter. Um, we had a really good conversation about R&D and development and people, and it's been really really good. And I'm happy that so many of you guys have such great comments, and you've really given me a few things to think about and see in a different perspective. And just me personally, um, it's something that I really enjoy is listening to other people's perspectives or opinions, and then just seeing, well, not seeing really, but just understanding their view and their perspective. I think I've always been interested in finding out how people work and how they see things. So this is beautiful to see all you guys commenting out there, and I'm really getting to, and I think that's how we really get to know people, is when we have an engaging conversation, and where we're sharing with each other, sharing each other's ideas and views and perspectives. Hey, what's up, Ricky? How you doing, buddy? Thank you for listening. That's how we really get to know people. And again, for me, I just love listening to how different we are, and how similar we are, and how people's minds work. I love it. I love it. And I think that's, for me, that's why I tend to connect with a lot of people. I don't know. And maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just weird like that. I don't know. So yeah, that was brilliant, man. Why, that was brilliant. Let's see. Okay, so Asif says, wait, actually, he's referring to something that Wolf had made. So let me go back to what Wolf says. Okay, the question is, if it wouldn't be the known people of Yoko in Rev D, I guess people would expect the same, what I mentioned. Wait, hold on. Remember, they are also brand with a small footprint. You have to allow time to go. Yes. Okay, I can't find that other comment that he made, but let's see. Asif says, valid point made by Wolf. Why are these big companies not releasing stuff in English language? Cause big brands are more towards money making competition zone. Majority of the stuff is in Japanese, cause that's the first market they approach. We are all second base, and that really is another valid point. Um, because I think when you speak to most of the manufacturers, they always tell you that their market is the Japanese market first, and everybody else is secondary. Even though in some countries the sales might outweigh the local market, but I don't want to. I don't think it's quite a trade secret or an insider secret, but um, as a retailer for Overdose, a number of times I was told that uh, there's a certain percentage of products that are held for the Japanese market first, and then the rest is released for the global market, which I found very interesting. So I suppose it's also how you're going to look at it. These Japanese manufacturers are sort of investing in their own country or investing in their own people, and the people are reciprocating by investing back in the company by buying their products, and then they say, "Okay, guys, we had enough, so let the world have the rest." Perhaps, and I don't know much about the Japanese culture, but I'm trying to educate myself. So perhaps it's something that we need to look at, or other up and coming or possible manufacturers need to look at. Perhaps trying to employ that kind of mindset where we're gonna try and do our best we can for our own people before we want to hit the global market. And maybe that's a kind of approach that companies need to employ in order to become worldwide. You know, whether it's right or wrong, maybe it's just something to consider. I don't know. Let's see. Look at MST. They are a Taiwanese company, but everything they do is in English. Yeah. Agree. Overdose, which is nonsense. They're making most money overseas. Uh, I don't. You know what? To be honest, Wolf, I don't know if that's 100% true, because local Japanese market for Overdose is is quite a bit. It really is quite a bit. Um, Also, okay, and when I make this next comment, you will perhaps it will put things into a bit of a better perspective when it comes to Overdose. So the part that I said earlier about companies keeping a percentage for the local market and then releasing the rest is part of the reason why Overdose parts globally outside of Japan is uh, not as readily available as the other brands that we come across. One is, yes, the price, and etc. But the other thing is that the percentage of stock that's supplied to the global market versus Japan is small, is small. Also, they allocate percentages of stock to certain countries. So, for countries that buy more of the stock, they will grant a higher percentage to them, which is understandable because you want to send products to a place where it's selling more. You know, so perhaps that will give you a better idea or better understanding. But hey, it is what it is. I definitely agree with the Asif as well. Um, I think that all these manufacturers know that we love their products. We love the Japanese products, the Japanese drift products, and it only stands to reason that they really should include more stuff in English. Um, I mean, we understand that they feed the Japanese market, but you also have a massive following outside of Japan, and the most common language out there is English. So why not do that? It's a really good question. Uh, Oh, Jeepers, Samir. Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. He's really one of the great overdose collectors. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I wanted to talk about. I wanted to focus a little bit again on the new guys, but this episode has been beyond my expectation and has been so good that I'm actually gonna leave that for another episode. I'm gonna come back to that on the next episode. And there's a couple of things there that I want to reinforce again, but I'm going to leave that for the next episode. But this next topic, I'm sure, is going to excite or rather interest a number of you guys. So, as I've been trawling the RC drift world to see what everybody's up to and what new and exciting things are out there in the RC drift world, I've come across something pretty cool, which I think people are gonna love, and I really hope it's gonna catch on. So these guys are out in Australia, in Western Australia, and specifically Perth, Western Australia. So this guy by the name of Suryan Ang. I don't know whether you guys have come across that name before, but this guy Suryan Ang is from Perth, Western Australia, and he drifts at the Wanneroo circuit. Honestly, it's the first time I've heard of the Wanneroo circuit, and it looks like a pretty sick indoor polished concrete track. It looks really good. So the guys that actually came up with this concept is Russell Gander, and apparently he's been the main driving force behind this new idea, and I believe he's also part of the old GCRC RCD crew. I think that's the Gold Coast, the old Gold, the crew from the old Gold Coast RC drift track. If you guys recall that from a number of years back, and unfortunately they've closed. So yeah, coming to the this new idea and this new concept. Sorry, it's they don't exactly have a name for this new idea, but basically what it involves is a 17.5 ton FR class drift category. So no boost, no timing, no boost, no turbo, all driver scale, 17.5 ton front motor, front motor mounted class chassis, front motor mount, cheapers, why am I getting tongue tied? Front motor, rear drive chassis. And the body they're sort of going for is the old school sort of first gen drifters, so like the FC3S, the A86. So the idea behind that is to go for a sort of a realistic low power style, and everybody drives a front, well, everything that I explained before I get tongue tied again. I haven't seen any videos of it just yet. They're all running a very similar setup, similar FDR, and they're just running it like that. And I think that's a really nice concept to get going and start popularizing. Especially more for the guys that doesn't want to compete too much, but is looking for absolute fun, and that real old school style, get the power, get the momentum going, have a nice long sort of stretch to build up the power, and then just flick that car into the bin and let the power carry it through, and not relying on things like turbo and boost, but pure throttle control and driver skill, and then just enjoying the drift. I think that's going to be amazing to watch. Yeah, I agree, Wolf. That's a fantastic idea. It's an absolute beautiful idea. Now, imagine if we, you know, I really think we should. That's something that needs to catch on worldwide. Create a each. In fact, I put it. Here's my challenge to all you guys who own tracks, and I'm gonna try my best to implement this at my track as well. The challenge is to follow the guys at the Wanneroo circuit from Australia in creating a 17.5 ton FR class category, where it's all about the drift and the driver skill. You need to rely on your own skill, and not lean on this new technology of turbo and boost. Run similar setups, run similar FDR. That's my challenge to you guys. Let's see what you can do. Okay, so here's a bit of more information, that more knowledge that Asif is dropping. Katsuyo Kachi was the only guy I saw in Japan running a FRD with 17.5 turn motor, FRD of 14.6, polished epoxy, and he was faster than any YD2. This was at Doctor Circuit. Wow, I wish I could have seen, or maybe I did see it. I wouldn't even know. But that sounds amazing, bro. That sounds absolutely amazing. But yeah, like I said, that's my challenge to everyone out there who has a circuit. Create a 17.5 ton FR class category for the fun of it, and let's see what you guys come up with. I think it's a really fun, and I'm going to mention this again. I think it's a really fun class to introduce, to get, through all this pandemic and being locked up and under house arrest or whatever. I think a lot of people have sort of dipped in their interest in RC drifting, and if not that, for a long while people have been looking for something to be excited again with RC drifting. Just something different. Not necessarily saying that people are not excited about drifting now, but I mean something besides having to look forward to a new chassis. So I think the guys out in Australia have come up with this brilliant idea that's definitely gonna motivate and light that fire of passion and interest in the hobby again by getting into this FR class. I think it's going to be really fun, and people will look forward to it, and it's definitely going to develop our skills more. So if and when we go over to the competitive side, over to the turbo and the boost, we won't be readily or leaning on that tech, because we would have already built up that driving skill with the non-turbos cars, So that's my challenge to all you guys, to all the track owners out there. When you can, create a 17.5 ton FR class, no turbo, no boost allowed, similar FDR, similar setup, and run that shit, dudes. Run it, and let's see what we get. So just another big up to the guys from Wanneroo Circuit, Russell Gander and Suryan Ang, for pioneering this concept behind this new class of drifting. I think it's going to be really good. Okay, so Daniel says, "Hey, what's up, Daniel?" He says it's about style, and the leader is responsible to give the chaser the opportunity to chase. Absolutely, 100%. The leader definitely sets the entire tone for the whole drift, for the whole train. And I think when I was at Worlds, I finally got to experience that level. Or yeah, yeah. Just an opinion. I finally got to experience being in that long train, that like 6, 7, 8 car train, and it was so intimidating for me, so intimidating, but at the same time, so much of fun. You know, it was like the emotion is similar to like being absolutely terrified yet absolutely excited at the same time. And I don't know if you've experienced that, but for me that was my whole emotion at Worlds. Let's see. Yeah, guys. Yeah. Very exciting times. So I think that's for 2020, that's definitely one of the highlights in the RC drift world that I've come across. It's definitely up there, right up there amongst like the top 5 best things to have come out of 2020. I don't know how long they've been trying to implement it or have been thinking about it, but I think it's absolutely amazing, and we should definitely give them props for that. Give them a big up, thumbs up, well done, keep it going, and we're gonna try and implement similar or the same concepts in our parts of the world. So yeah, just to remind you guys again, that's my challenge out to you guys who have circuits out there. Create an FR class that's all about the driver and not about the new tech that we have around. We want to do it old school, and the idea behind it is to light that fire of interest in the hobby again. If you're feeling bored, if you feel like you're losing interest in the hobby, or losing interest in your circuit, and you're looking for something to really get you back in the whole game, this is definitely the thing for you guys. So it's definitely something that you guys need to look into and get in there, man. I think you're gonna absolutely love it, so yeah, guys, it's been a fantastic and amazing episode today. I really appreciate all of the comments and the feedbacks and the engaging conversation that you guys have been putting up. I sincerely really appreciate it. Perhaps I'm going a little bit too soppy right now, but I'm excited because you guys are giving me that feedback, and I'm the kind of person that will feed off the group, if you get what I'm saying. So yeah, it's very encouraging, and I give you my word that next episode will be as exciting, if not more. And I will work very hard to do that. So thank you again to everybody that's been listening and all of the support. So just a quick recap. We spoke about social drifting versus competition drifting. We spoke about the amazing work that's happening out in the KMUAD headquarters. And just a side note with that, if you guys ever happen to visit Germany and Berlin and Belgium and all those beautiful countries in that vicinity, please give Daniel Christoph a shout and a heads up, and ask him if you could get an invite to come and drift at his track. And I'm sure that he'd be most welcoming to have you guys at his track. It really is a beautiful, detailed, gorgeous outdoor track that you guys will absolutely love drifting on. And if you haven't seen his track or know about his track, just go give him an invite on Facebook and go check his profile, and you'll see the kind of work that he's put into this beautiful track. And then we spoke about the new. We spoke about world season and reminiscing in all of the amazing atmosphere and the beautiful times and the beautiful memories that were made at Worlds, and how sad and absolutely heartbroken we were when we heard that Worlds was cancelled for this year. And perhaps in some way it was a good thing because we all on lockdown, but our hearts still broke, and looking forward to a future Worlds Championship to be held. And then we spoke a little bit about the new Yoko SX3 and a little bit about the different brands and compared them a little bit. And then we had a whole lot of other conversations, which was absolutely riveting. So I'm sorry if you guys missed that, but not to worry. I always upload my podcast onto my YouTube channel. You'd have noticed I put up the link of last week's episode, and I will do the same for this new episode in due time. And then also at the beginning of the show, we always recap the previous episode, just to give you a little bit of background info as well. So once again, thank you so much to everybody. Hope you guys are safe, and keep up with the RC work, keep up with the new projects. Please tag me in your new projects. I genuinely love to see what people get up to, and how creative they are, and what awesome stuff they do. Like people like David Falk and Daniel Christoph and Vivian Krobler and Matthias. I hope I said your name correctly, my bro. And if I butchered your name, I'm so sorry. But and a whole bunch of other very, very talented guys out there. I love looking at the work and your creativity and what you guys come up with. And please don't ever stop doing what you're doing, and keep doing your work, because your work inspires so many others to attempt to do something, to try and do something that's also very, very cool. So please keep up with that work. You guys are awesome. And yeah, I think it's been a fantastic episode. You guys rock. And before I end off, I just want to reiterate something that I've been saying in previous episodes. It's our motto: #local is lekker. Support your local hobby shops, support your local tracks. Don't let them die out, guys, because I promise you we're gonna miss it if it all goes away. And when it goes away, it's incredibly difficult for it to come back. So if you have been doing so already, huge big up to you, huge shout out to you guys. Keep it up. You guys are the people that we need in this world. So hope you all stay safe, hope you all stay awesome. Take care. We will chat soon. And always remember, I'm always checking out what you guys are doing, and tag me into your projects. I'd love to talk about it on the show. I'd love to get your thinking behind what you're doing. So cheers, guys. Have an awesome time, and I will catch you guys again very, very soon. Peace.